Bullies messed with the wrong girl. The shocking payback you won't believe. On a foggy Monday morning in the quiet town of Maplewood, Ohio, 16-year-old Emily Parker stepped through the doors of Lincoln High with a mixture of nerves and determination. The mist still clung to the pavement, mirroring the uncertainty swirling inside her. This was her fourth move in 3 years, each one a chance to start over. To fade into the background. To be invisible. Dressed simply in worn jeans and a faded sweatshirt, her chestnut hair pulled back into a no-nonsense ponytail. Emily's mission was clear: blend in, keep her head down, survive. But beneath that unassuming exterior lay a secret, a fierce spirit forged in the gritty gyms of Detroit, where she had spent years training in mixed martial arts, becoming a junior state champion with fists that could crack ribs and a mastery of ground combat that left grown men in awe. Yet here, in this small town, she was just the new girl, an unknown face among a sea of students who had already staked their territories. As she navigated the crowded hallways, trying not to draw attention, a shadow fell across her path, a tall, broad-shouldered boy with a cocky smirk and eyes that dared her to resist. Brad Mitchell, the self-proclaimed king of Lincoln High, didn't take kindly to newcomers who didn't know their place. "You think you can play games here?" he growled, his voice a challenge that echoed through the corridor. Emily met his gaze steadily, her calm eyes flickering with a cold gleam that silenced the gathering crowd. "I'm not here to play," she said softly, but with an unyielding edge. The school held its breath, sensing the storm that was about to break, but no one, least of all Brad, knew just how fierce this quiet new girl really was. From the very first moments of her arrival, tension crackled like electricity in the air. Brad Mitchell, flanked by his loyal sidekicks Kyle Anderson and Jake Collins, wasted no time staking his claim over Emily Parker. Their presence was like a storm rolling in, unstoppable, unrelenting. At lunch, as Emily quietly ate alone at a corner table, the trio descended upon her like predators sensing weakness. Brad's voice boomed with authority. "This is my school, my rules. You're the new girl, time to learn respect." Emily's calm gaze never wavered. But inside, a familiar fire blazed. Years of fighting in Detroit had taught her that submission only invited more aggression. Kyle sneered, mocking her hometown like it gave them license to bully. Jake, ever the silent threat, blocked her path when she tried to leave, his grip firm on her shoulder. Brad's demand was blunt and cruel: $5 a day for protection. A twisted tax on survival in a new, hostile world. Emily felt the weight of it settle like a stone in her chest. But she kept her promise to her mother: no trouble, no fights. Yet every shove in the hallway, every sneer in the classroom, every humiliating moment in the cafeteria etched deeper scars beneath her composed exterior. When her notebook was crushed under Kyle's boot and her shoulder throbbed from Jake's shove, the fire inside her grew hotter. It wasn't fear, it was the raw, simmering resolve of someone pushed too far. That night, as the world around her slept, Emily lay awake, haunted by Brad's smug smile and the heavy silence of broken promises. Somewhere deep within, the quiet new girl was gathering strength, readying to shatter the chains of intimidation, and she knew the reckoning was coming. The next afternoon, the tension that had been simmering beneath the surface finally erupted into a storm. Emily waited patiently in the nearly empty parking lot, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows as the school emptied around her. Her heart beat steady, her mind sharp and focused. This was the moment she'd been preparing for. When Brad Mitchell finally emerged from the athletic building, alone and cocky, his confident smirk faltered for the first time. Well, look who's back for more," he sneered, trying to mask the flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. Emily stepped forward, calm and unwavering. "I'm here to end this," she said quietly, her voice carrying the weight of every insult, every shove, every humiliation he had thrown her way. Brad laughed, the sound harsh and hollow. "You really think you can take me on? I've been the king of this school since I was 10. Football scholarships, muscle, backing, you don't stand a chance." But Emily didn't flinch. In one fluid motion, she sidestepped his aggressive lunge, her reflexes honed from years of relentless training. As his fist sailed past her, she deflected it with a precise forearm block, the movement so swift and exact it left Brad stunned. Then, with the power of a piston, Her left hand drove into his solar plexus, a strike so focused it knocked the air from his lungs and brought him to his knees gasping for breath. The crowd that had gathered at a distance gasped in disbelief. The untouchable bully was broken. Vulnerable. Emily stood over him, eyes cold but steady, a quiet warning ringing clear. Underestimate me at your own peril. Brad's world shattered in that moment. The king dethroned by a girl he had thought weak. And the school's silence was shattered by the first crack of a new order. From that day forward, everything changed. The once feared Brad Mitchell no longer ruled Lincoln High with arrogance. Instead, he became an unlikely guardian, his presence a silent shield around Emily and those she cared about. The ripple effect of that single victory spread like wildfire through the halls. Students who once cowered now held their heads high, inspired by the quiet strength of the new girl who refused to back down. Emily didn't stop at defending herself. She became a beacon of hope for others. Especially when Jessica Miller and her friends approached her with desperate eyes and stories of relentless harassment from the notorious West Side crew. Standing at the bus stop, Emily confronted the towering figures with unshakable resolve, her every move a testament to years of hard-earned skill and unyielding courage. One swift elbow, one calculated knee, and the bullies crumpled, not just physically, but under the weight of a lesson they would never forget. Word of her bravery spread, drawing students from all grades eager to learn how to stand their ground. Emily transformed the school gym into a sanctuary of empowerment, teaching self-defense classes that quickly grew beyond expectation. Her voice was steady as she reminded them, true strength isn't about hurting others, it's about protecting yourself and those who can't protect themselves. The atmosphere shifted from fear to respect, from division to unity. As Emily's leadership sparked a movement, Lincoln High was no longer a place ruled by bullies, it was a community where courage was nurtured. And the quiet girl from Detroit had become its beating heart. When the local Mixed Martial Arts Federation announced an exhibition event at the city's sports center, Emily Parker had no intention of stepping into the ring. She was content to watch, to be just another face in the crowd. But the moment the students' chants swelled, Emily, Emily, her name echoed through the packed arena like a rallying cry. Mike Robertson, a seasoned former pro fighter and one of the event's organizers, raised an eyebrow, intrigued by the buzz surrounding this seemingly unassuming 16-year-old. Reluctantly, Emily found herself pushed forward, facing off against Kelly Rose, a rising star with a fierce reputation. Wearing protective gear and under strict rules, the match began with tentative jabs and cautious maneuvers, but it quickly escalated into a display of skill and heart. Emily moved with fluid grace and precision, dodging Kelly's strikes, catching a powerful kick, and executing a flawless sweep that sent her opponent crashing to the mat. On the ground, Emily's dominance was undeniable. She locked Kelly into a chokehold so tight and controlled that surrender was the only option. The crowd erupted into thunderous applause, students from Lincoln High roaring in disbelief and pride. Mike Robertson approached afterward, impressed and contemplative, asking where she had trained. Detroit, Emily replied simply, her eyes shining with quiet determination. Offers and opportunities began to flow. Yet Emily remained grounded, her focus unwavering. She wanted to be a high school student first, a leader and protector in her own community. Her victory wasn't just a personal triumph, it was a beacon that illuminated her strength, inspiring everyone around her and forever changing the spirit of Lincoln High. The fragile peace Emily had fought so hard to build was shattered when news broke that Travis Reynolds, the very bully she had confronted at the bus stop, had been arrested for assaulting a girl from another district. The story sent shockwaves through Maplewood. But what followed was an even darker twist. Travis's powerful family, wielding influence and wealth, unleashed a legal onslaught aimed not at their son, but at Emily herself. Accused of provoking Travis and blamed for fueling his violent outbursts, Emily suddenly found herself in the crosshairs of a vicious countersuit. Thrust into a courtroom battle that captivated the community and media alike. Headlines painted her alternately as a hero and a menace. The line between self-defense and aggression blurred in public debate. Yet, in the courtroom's charged atmosphere, Emily stood tall and unwavering. Witnesses who had seen the truth testified with courage, Jessica Miller among them, detailing the harassment and threats that led to Emily's intervention. When called to the stand, Emily's voice rang clear and honest as she recounted her years of disciplined martial arts training, emphasizing not brute violence but control, responsibility, and the right to protect oneself and others. "I used only the force necessary to stop them," she declared, eyes steady, heart resolute. The tension was palpable as opposing counsel tried to shake her confidence. But Emily remained unshaken, embodying the very strength and integrity her story had become known for. After a tense deliberation, the jury's verdict was swift and unanimous, not guilty on all counts. The courtroom erupted in applause. A triumph not just for Emily but for every person standing up against intimidation and injustice. In that moment, Emily Parker wasn't just a girl who fought back, she was a symbol of courage, justice, and the power of standing firm in one's truth. In the wake of the courtroom victory, Emily Parker's influence blossomed far beyond the walls of Lincoln High. Her self-defense classes, once a small gathering of curious students, swelled into a thriving movement embraced by the entire community. With determination and grace, Emily transformed the school gym into a sanctuary of empowerment, where teens and adults alike gathered to learn not just how to fight, but how to carry themselves with confidence and courage. Principal Anderson, city council members, and even local parents took notice, offering support and resources that fueled the program's growth. Brad Mitchell, once her fiercest adversary, now stood by her side, not as a bully, but as an ally and protector. His own transformation a testament to Emily's quiet strength. The atmosphere at Lincoln High shifted dramatically. Bullying became a relic of the past as students rallied together, emboldened by the lessons Emily imparted. Her classes emphasized more than physical techniques, they taught awareness, respect, and the power of community. Word spread quickly, and Emily began traveling to nearby schools, leading seminars that ignited flames of resilience in hearts that had long been dimmed by fear. Everywhere she went, stories of transformation followed, young people finding their voices, standing tall, refusing to be victims. Emily had sparked a revolution of strength and kindness, proving that true power wasn't about domination, but about lifting others up and standing united against injustice. Her legacy was no longer confined to her own story, it was woven into the very fabric of the communities she touched. One chilly evening, as twilight painted the streets of Maplewood in hues of deep blue, Emily Parker found herself face to face with a threat far more daunting than any she had faced before. Emerging from the shadows was Mr. Reynolds, towering and imposing, his breath reeking of alcohol and menace. The same man whose son's actions had shaken the town now sought to intimidate Emily herself. His anger a dangerous storm unleashed. But Emily's years of training and unwavering spirit had forged a steel resolve. As he lunged forward with drunken aggression, reaching for her shoulders, she moved with fluid precision, slipping free from his grasp and delivering a sharp, targeted punch to his solar plexus, the blow cutting through his drunken haze like lightning. He doubled over, gasping for air, but desperation drove him to attack again, only to be met with a crushing blow to the jaw that sent him crumpling to the pavement. Unconscious and defeated, within moments, the wail of sirens pierced the night as police and paramedics arrived. The security footage from a nearby store capturing every moment of Emily's calm yet fierce defense. The episode was clear. Emily was no aggressor but a protector, standing firm against threats both old and new. Though this encounter brought new challenges, it also underscored a profound truth Emily carried in her heart: the strength to face darkness head-on. To defend not just herself but the safety and dignity of all who depended on her. In that quiet victory beneath the night sky, Emily's resolve was only hardened, ready for whatever lay ahead. As the seasons turned and Emily Parker stepped into her final year at Lincoln High, her influence grew beyond the mat and the classroom. She emerged as a beacon of leadership and change. Elected student council president, Emily wielded her newfound authority not as a weapon, but as a tool to dismantle the shadows of fear and intimidation that once plagued the halls. With unwavering determination, she spearheaded the creation of the Honor Court, a revolutionary system where justice was measured not by punishment, but by understanding and growth. The court became a place where bullies were given a chance to confront the consequences of their actions, to learn empathy, and to rewrite their stories. This new approach transformed the culture of the school, reducing conflicts to a whisper and replacing hostility with respect. Emily's vision was clear. Strength wasn't about dominance, it was about uplifting others, fostering community, and cultivating courage in the face of adversity. As graduation day arrived, Emily stood tall, a symbol of resilience and hope, her voice carrying across the auditorium as she shared her journey, from a frightened newcomer to a fearless leader. She urged her classmates to embrace their true selves, to stand firm against injustice, and to be the change-makers their world desperately needed. The standing ovation that followed was not just applause for a speech, but a celebration of a legacy that would ripple through Lincoln High for generations to come. Years passed, but the legacy of Emily Parker remained etched in the heart of Maplewood and beyond. Her story, immortalized in a photograph hanging proudly in Lincoln High's gym, inspired every new generation of students who walked those halls. The plaque beneath her image bore a simple yet powerful tribute, Emily Parker, Class of 2013. She taught us that true strength lies in the courage to protect others. Through the years, Emily blossomed into more than just a champion fighter or a school leader. She became a symbol of hope, resilience, and transformative power. Her passion carried her from small-town hero to a respected psychologist and mentor, dedicating her life to empowering young people to find their own voice and strength. Each year, she returned to Maplewood to run workshops, rekindling the flame of courage in fresh faces eager to make their mark. Her influence rippled outward as her students spread her message far and wide, creating a network of allies committed to standing against fear and injustice. Emily's journey proved that one person's quiet courage could ignite a movement. That true heroism wasn't about glory or fame but about the steadfast resolve to be oneself, to face challenges head-on, and to lift others along the way. In the end, her story didn't just conclude, it lived on, breathing life into every heart brave enough to take that first step toward change.